Hello everyone, we're starting early today. Just give me a second. If you can hear me okay, tell me when I get on the screen. Hello, hello, hello. I know I'm 15 minutes early, so I hope you guys are okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Como News just announced it last night officially, and the State Attorney General's office made their announcement as well. So it is now officially official. So I'm really excited. We're going to go over the consent decree together during this live. Good. I'm glad the sound is better. I was recording late last night and I was talking really quiet. And yes, my videos that I pre-recorded are really, really quiet. So while we wait for everyone to show up, let's take a look at the new releases that are sitting in the back office. So we've got Poppin' Pizzazz, Shell To Do, Bundle Up, a big wiry looking splat of a flower, the Seed Bead, and the More You Know necklace is now available in yellow. And then we have Stacked Showdown. It's stacked all right. And then Pearl Promotion. Oh, the irony. And then we've got more charmy things. This one has butterflies, clovers, and other things. The pot leaf in silver this time around. And then a bunch of stuff from yesterday. So a good portion of new releases did sell out today from what I can see. So Paparazzi hasn't updated their website, their pulse, with anything regarding the Attorney General's announcement. Hello, Cheyenne Bella. So let me turn the music off, and I just want to let you guys know that I've got the door open, and I've got two puppies hanging out on the deck over there. They're people watching, so they might start barking. So just so you know, they might start barking, and I might have to give them a little bit of a no. So let me move this over here. I'm going to read a couple emails from some of my viewers, and then when more people get here, say hello when you arrive. But this one is very interesting. Okay. But the most important thing I want to remind everybody is if you lived in the state of Washington and you are a former paparazzi consultant, I'm going to make this bigger if I can. I just want to remind you all that the State Attorney General's office will be sending out to Washington state consultants that participated in paparazzi. You will be receiving a check. So let me just read this to you. This is official from the State Attorney General's website. So I know it's covering up a lot of it, but I have it fully on my screen over here, so you guys can see the gist of it. Utah-based jewelry company Paparazzi will pay $1.9 million and reform its business practices in Washington state, following Attorney General's office investigation into the company's pyramid scheme. Attorney General Nick Brown will send 7,100 Washingtonians who sold jewelry for the company checks of an average of $180 in the near future. Okay, our investigation showed Washingtonians were clearly harmed by paparazzi, Brown said. Advertising too good to be true returns on investment is one of the ways that companies and individuals tried to deceive Washingtonians. Hello, Deb. Okay. The payment is part of a resolution paparazzi signed. Click consent decree. Okay, which I have, and we'll go over that in a second. To avoid a lawsuit over violations of the state's Consumer Protection Act and Anti-Pyramid Scheme Promotional Scheme Act. Washingtonians who sold paparazzi products can return to the company any unsold merchandise that they purchased after January of 2017 for a full refund. The binding resolution also requires the company to be more transparent if it wants to keep operating in Washington state. Okay, it creates a claims process for refunds for anyone who bought paparazzi jewelry that contains heavy metals, lead, and nickel. Again, there's a win for the Crack the Crown group right there. Paparazzi advertise certain products, including those marketed towards children and youth, as free from both heavy metals. Paparazzi's own testing revealed that some of its products did in fact contain lead and nickel. Okay, so there's that. All right, so I can't wait until their states follow through too. Oh, you need something stronger than hot cocoa. Get yourself a cup of joe. So I just came from the dentist, you guys, so I'm a little numb. So that's probably not the best idea for me right now. Okay. All right. So the resolution also reforms how paparazzi can advertise its sales program to include fully disclosing the income sales consultants would likely receive from its sales programs. Okay, the Consumer Protection Division is largely funded through money recovered from businesses who have violated Washington State's Consumer Protection Act, similar laws. It's not paid for by the taxpayer. Specifically, a portion of the consumer protection recoveries go back into the Attorney General's Civil Justice Operating Fund, which supports the Consumer Protection, Antitrust, Wing-Luke Civil Rights, and Environmental Protection Divisions. It also funds Medicaid fraud control and the complex litigation divisions. So, paparazzi has to pay a judgment of $1.9 million, and the Attorney General's office will be dividing that up between the 7,100 Washingtonian consultants for their portion, and the average check will be approximately $180. Okay, so let's go into the consent decree. All right, so I'm going to make this so you guys can see it on the screen. Can you guys see it okay? Okay, so, paparazzi agreed. Oh, Annie's having such a fun time on the deck. Paparazzi agreed to pay $1.9 million. In addition to, so I just, that's just the tip of the iceberg. All right. Paparazzi also agrees to pay for people returning their inventory to paparazzi. I'm going to change this to live chat. So paparazzi has to pay for their inventory to come back to them. Paparazzi is out that cost. Another thing, paparazzi has to refund 100% of the purchase price to all Washingtonians. Okay? And then paparazzi has to be transparent if it ever wants to do business in the state of Washington ever again. Okay? And they're under scrutiny with the state of Washington for 5 years. 5 years. Okay? So I devoured this 35-page document last night, and I read it, as quickly as I could, and I had to look up some words, but yeah. So, guess what? He saw that. All right, so Washington defendants. So defendants are paparazzi, okay? Paparazzi having agreed on the basis for the settlement matters alleged in the complaint that the entry of this consent decree against paparazzi without the need for a trial or adjudication of any issue of law or fact. In doing so, Washington and paparazzi seek a compromise resolution to this action. Paparazzi has cooperated with the Attorney General's office investigation. Paparazzi, by entering into the consent decree, do not admit the allegations of the complaint other than those solely as necessary to establish the jurisdiction of the court, and Washington and the defendants, paparazzi, agree to this consent decree does not constitute evidence or an admission regarding the existence or non-existence of any issue of fact or violation of any law. I'm just court of public opinioning right now. You entered into agreement so you wouldn't get sued, so it would become fact. So it would become a matter of law. So it wouldn't be proven that you were guilty of doing the things that they're claiming that you did. That's why you agreed to pay the judgment and return all the money. You don't want to admit it, but by signing the decree, you basically, in my humble opinion, even though it's written on paper that you're not guilty, court of public opinion, why would you enter into something if you weren't guilty of it? I mean, just saying. I mean, that's my humble opinion. Hold on a second. I gotta spit out my gum. Sorry. All right. So, and now I'm gonna eat some almond roca. Yeah. Okay. So, defendants recognize that this consent decree is entered into voluntarily and that no promises, representations, or threats have been made by the Attorney General's office or any member or office. Paparazzi waives any rights they may have to appeal this consent decree. Okay. Paparazzi further agrees the court shall retain jurisdiction of this action and jurisdiction over paparazzi for the purpose of implementing and enforcing the terms outlined below. So, let's go over the outline below. So, what do you guys think of this so far? Have any of you, by the way, there's a link to the consent decree in the description tab of the video. All right. Let me have a snack. Okay. Probably not the best choice. Okay. Cats, what do you think of this? Don't admit anything. It's so sad. Okay, so let me do this real quick. Let me go to desktop. Okay. Oh, we're not going to do that one. We'll do this one. Because we need to have some fun little background music for this. Okay. So we'll do the Wii Store. All right. So the general thing is basically saying, okay, blah, 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 blah. They agree that they failed to blah, 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 blah. We're going to skip over the definitions. If you guys want to read definitions, you may do so. Oh no, the door's closing by itself. Oh no, Annie, watch out. Okay, so let's go into the important stuff. Okay, here's all the definitions. So I love the definitions of everything. Definitions. Accompanied by means that accompanying information or disclosure difficult to miss, easily noticeable, and easily understandable by ordinary consumers, including in all of the following ways. Any communication that is solely visual or solely audible, the disclosure must be made through the same means in which the communication is presented. In any communication made through both visual and audible means, such as television advertisement, the disclosure must be presented simultaneously in both the visual and audible portions of the communication. Representation requiring disclosure is made in only one means, virtual disclosure, including disclosure using an interactive electronic medium by its size, contrast, and length. So they need it to be easily noticed, okay? Business opportunity means any written or oral business arrangement that consists of providing payments, services, or other consideration for the right or means to offer, sell, or distribute a product or service. Buyback period means the length of time during which defendants, paparazzi, must buy back eligible products from consultants and customers. The buyback period in the state of Washington shall run for 1 year, beginning on the date of entry of this decree. The entry was March 3rd, so between March 3rd of this year through March 2nd of 2026, the buyback period for the state of Washington is in effect. Product means any item sold or distributed by the defendant to any of their assigned agents meets the definition of jewelry in California Health and Safety Code. For the purpose of this consent decree, buyback eligible product means all products meeting the definition of jewelry. Okay? for which any of the following exist: failed a test for either lead or nickel, an inconclusive or ambiguous result of lead or nickel, and no test results indicating whether the product was containing lead or nickel. The definition applies to all paparazzi products without regard to whether the product was sold as part of the Paparazzi Fashion Fix program. For this purpose and definition, test, failed, and inconclusive or ambiguous shall refer to the independent testing standards described in paragraph 48H. Okay, compensation, meaning any money or other thing of value provided to a consultant in exchange for their participation in any business activity for paparazzi. Consultant means any person who purchased a product from paparazzi for the purpose of participating in the business opportunity, including former participants. Hello, me. Okay. Effective date means the date on which the consent decree is fully executed and entered by the court. Income disclosure statement means a graphical depiction of the financial outcomes of consultants in a given year, presented in the form depicted in Appendix A. Let me go down to Appendix A, you guys. Here is Appendix A. They want a visual income disclosure statement showing where people lost money, showing where people profited between $1 and $1,000, and people who profit more than $5,000. This was the transparency that my Attorney General wanted, okay, if they wanted to continue to do business in the state of Washington. All right. I was on definition, wasn't I? I was. Sorry. I forgot I was on page 6. Okay. All right. So I showed you the income disclosure statement. Okay. Washington consult means any consultant who at any time provided paparazzi with a Washington state billing address. Washington customer means any person in the state of Washington who purchased a paparazzi product who also enrolled as a consultant. Washington customer means anyone who at any time provided paparazzi or consultant with a Washington state billing address. Retail sales means sales of paparazzi products from paparazzi or its consultants to customers above wholesale price, okay, where a consultant purchases paparazzi products from another paparazzi consultant at or above the manufacturer's retail price. So remember how a couple years ago, well, it was when the God's Girl necklace came out, and that God's Girl necklace, Erica Cole was selling it for like $8 a piece. Yeah, that also is what they're referring to here. Okay, retail sales. If you paid more than the $5 value, they have to refund you. So if anyone in the state of Washington bought anything from an Upline Elite for more than $5, this applies. I do too, Stephanie. So, and oh, Stephanie, Julie Anderson's video, I just started watching it. Awesome stuff. Congratulations again, Canada, for canceling your Melaleuca memberships and any other Utah-based MLM or Idaho-based MLM. I hope all of them cancel their accounts with any US-based multi-level marketing company, and I hope it happens all over the world, honestly. Okay? We did this to ourselves, America. We deserve it. Okay, so anyway, let's go to injunctions, okay? Okay, so prohibited marketing. 31 days after the effective date of the consent decree, paparazzi are permanently restrained and enjoined from advertising, marketing, promoting, or offering a business opportunity to Washington state residents. Okay? Whether directly or through an intermediary, that violates the law. The Anti-Pyramid Promotional Scheme Act. By implementing the following restrictions and mandated conduct as set below. Okay? Ban on certain business practices. 31 days after the effective date of the consent decree, Paparazzi, whether acting directly or indirectly, are permanently restrained and enjoined from advertising, marketing, promoting, or offering, or assisting in the advertising, marketing, promoting, or offering of a business opportunity in the state of Washington. So, if you watched the live stream the other night where I was reacting to Kelly Shea, where people were asking, can they give you any tips? No, they can't. Says so right here. So that's why she didn't get any tips from Paparazzi, okay? And then A-I determines that a consultant's compensation or eligibility to receive compensation based primarily on the consultant's purchase of goods or services or other consultants' purchased goods or services, okay? I wonder how many consultants are in Washington. 7,100 and a little bit more than that. Paparazzi had on their books approximately 7,100 consultants in the state of Washington, according to the Attorney General's press release. Hope that answers that question. Okay. The compensation plan may require the purchase of a starter pack or charge a fee to join as a consultant, but no part of the price of the starter pack or fee may be used to determine or calculate commissions paid to any consultant. So, remember, hi Annie! So, remember, you guys, when they got rid of the $299 starter pack and they got rid of the $400 starter pack? No, total. 7,100 consultants total. So, that starter pack, the $200 one and the $500 one, consultants who got someone to enroll and pay that starter pack price, they are no longer allowed to give commission on that. So that's why they, I believe, eliminated it. And then consultants weren't getting commission on the $20 party permit pass. And on the $99 starter kit, consultants only received commission based on the inventory the person purchased. Oh my gosh, Annie is so cute, you guys. Look. Look at that cute little puppy butt. She's just out there hanging out watching the birdies. Sorry, that's one of my favorite things about watching her. Yes, I'm looking at you. You're so cute. Okay. Alright, so. Where was I? I lost track, y'all. I lost track. I'm going to turn the music down just a bit. Okay, so you can't receive compensation based on someone's starter pack fee, okay? It requires any mandatory purchases in order to qualify for a rank or compensation. However, the compensation plan may establish a minimum amount of monthly retail sales necessary, an emphasis on retail sales, in order to participate in the compensation plan. As such, a minimum amount may not be changed more than annually and must be clearly communicated to all consultants at the time of sign up and again whenever it is changed. So, you know, they're trying to get them to ban certain business practices, okay, and requires that implement better business practices, okay? All right. So, based on compensation, qualification, or rank, any of the following factors. 1, the number of people in a consultant's downline. 2, the depth of a participant's downline. Or 3, a consultant's personal volume. Or 4, the purchase volume of consultants in a consultant's downline. For the avoidance of doubt, products purchased by a consultant from Paparazzi at wholesale prices and then resold by the consultant to a customer, the second sale may be included in the compensation calculations upon the second sale. Okay? Defendants shall not allow a prospective participant in Washington to sign up and participate in any participation agreement, policies and procedures, or any other binding agreement, or pay any consideration or participate in any trainings until 7 days after providing the prospective participant with an income disclosure statement and obtaining written confirmation from the prospective participant that they have received and reviewed the income disclosure statement. So, back when they first started doing pick your own starter pack, I want to remind you all, my best friend picked her own starter pack and signed up, and within 3 hours of her signing up to become a paparazzi consultant, Crystal Lee Roberts Mitchell, Patty Shevlin, Melissa McCure, all 3 of them started inundating the email address that we set up for her to sign up. They started inundating her with, watch this Zoom training. Here's a link to this team group. Watch this training. This is how you make money. Let me teach you how to recruit more people. Watch this training. You should place your first order when new releases drop tomorrow. So that happened within hours. So now if a consultant signs up, they should have 7 days to review everything. That gives them time to review their starter kit. That gives them time to go through their back office and read the policies and procedures, to read the terms and conditions, to review the income disclosure statements. All of that it's an informational period. And it's honestly what everyone should do. But honestly, you should be doing that before you give them money to sign up, in my humble opinion. And that was Ellie. And here comes Annie. Okay. So, you have to have a full 7 days to review everything. Defendants, so paparazzi, okay, this is paparazzi, shall not communicate with the prospective participant in any manner during that 7-day period. The paparazzi shall instruct all existing participants in its policies and procedures that existing participants may not contact prospective participants during this 7-day period between the review of the income disclosure statement and the prospective participants entering into any agreements with paparazzi. For purposes of calculating compensation, customer sales made with credit cards or other electronic forms of payment shall qualify. Customer sales made with cash shall only qualify for compensation if there is an electronic record created at the time of sale that provides the information required in Section 4.4. Compensation may not be paid on the basis of purchases made by the consultants in the state of Washington, whether for individual use, gifting, or resale. Required policies and procedures. And they've updated them. I've put a copy of the updated P&Ps in my blog. The link is down below. So if you guys want to go see the difference between the two, I've linked them. Required policies and procedures. 31 days after the effective date of this decree, paparazzi, whether acting directly or indirectly, are permanently restrained and enjoined from advertising, marketing, promoting, or offering, or assisting in the advertising, marketing, promoting, or offering of the business opportunity in the state of Washington. The state of Washington, or making retail sales. Okay. Honey. Okay. So, offering the business opportunity to Washington residents or in the state of Washington, or making retail sales to Washington customers unless such business opportunity and or retail sales comply with the following. A collection of sales information. Defendants shall use commercially reasonable efforts, including but not limited to PayPal, Square, Shopify, Venmo, Zelle, or the Premier app, to collect from consultants and maintain in a standardized format the following information for sales entered into a POS: the method of payment, products of quantity sold, the date of the sale, the price paid by the purchaser, and the purchaser's email address. Verification of retail sales. The following requirements shall apply regarding retail sales. Defendants shall take commercially reasonable steps, including both random and targeted audits, to monitor the retail sales in order to ensure that they are genuine sales of product rather than attempts to manipulate the compensation plan. Defendants shall take commercially reasonable steps, including both random and targeted audits to monitor the retail sales to ensure that they are in fact occurring as reported in the information collected and maintained. Okay? And audits provision shall last for a period of 10 years or when Paparazzi ceases offering compensation for recruitment and retail sales to multiple levels of consultants in the state of Washington, whichever is sooner. Okay? So, in order to prevent them from being audited, for 10 years, they're cutting out of the state of Washington to make their life easier. Okay? In implementing the preceding paragraphs, defendants shall monitor retail sales to identify the customers or consultant by 1, cross-checking the purchaser first and last names and matches for the customers and consultants' first and last names. She's splooting on the floor. She's so cute. Let's see. And then cross-checking purchaser's ship-to address with participant's address. Refund policies. Defendant's policies and procedures shall include the defendant. They shall enforce the following policies related to product refunds, buybacks from all residents in Washington. Okay? Washington resident who cancels his, her, or its participation in the business opportunity within 60 days of the enrollment may return their entire inventory purchase directly to Paparazzi for a full refund. Paparazzi will pay for any shipping costs associated with such return. Any returned products determined to be ineligible for refund will be forfeited by the consultant. Defendants shall repurchase at the consultant's written request all currently marketable inventory purchased from Paparazzi within 1 year from the date of its purchase. So, instead of all sales being final, okay, if you purchase from Paparazzi or one of its affiliates and you're not happy with the product, Paparazzi has to accept a return for a full refund. And the refund has to come from Paparazzi. Okay? So, products shall not be considered currently marketable if returned for repurchase after the product's commercially reasonable, usable, or shelf life has passed, or if it has been clearly disclosed to the buyer that the products are not subject to the repurchase obligation because the products are seasonal, discontinued, or special promotional products. Hi, Aradale. For the avoidance of doubt, products purchased through the Fashion Fix program shall be considered current and marketable inventory. So, the buyback program in the old policies and procedures, Fashion Fix was never ever eligible for the buyback program. In this paragraph, Fashion Fix is eligible in the state of Washington for a buyback. And the reason is because those Fashion Fix pieces that they have in Fashion Fix get released, 1 to 2 years later with just different colors. And I can prove that on their website right now. So I'm just going to show that if it's still available for people to buy it on their website right now, then it should still be considered currently marketable. So let me just go in and let me find that one bracelet that I'm thinking of. This right here, total sale out. This was originally a Fashion Fix piece in white. Well, here it is in blue. It's a Fashion Fix bracelet. It was originally released in a Fashion Fix set all the way back in 2021, I believe. Marina, if you're here, this is one of the ones you sent me. Okay? But here's the same bracelet, just in blue. And it was a Fashion Fix piece. Okay? So now the Fashion Fix pieces are eligible for buyback. Back in the day, and you guys, if you've watched old videos of mine, Fashion Fix was never eligible for buyback. So people were stuck with nothing but Fashion Fix because Fashion Fix was impossible to sell. Well, here we go. Now they have to take it back. And it's considered current and marketable. Defendant shall not reduce any refund amount based on retail sales made by a Washington consultant. Paparazzi shall not reduce any refund amount based on the compensation paid by defendants to Washington consultants unless such compensation was received by the Washington consultant when she bought it and the product's being returned. This consent decree shall not prohibit paparazzi from clawing back compensation paid to consultant's upline if the consultant returns the product and the upline received compensation for the purchase of that product under paparazzi's prior compensation plans. So let's read that again. The consent decree shall not prohibit paparazzi from clawing back compensation. So all of the upline elites, all of the people that received money in the form of compensation for commissions paid, for everything that they paid out commission-wise, they can claw that back. So if, Melissa McCure, pretty much any paparazzi elite that still has people living in the state of Washington and they have a bunch of inventory, their paychecks on April 20th or whenever the inventory gets returned over the next year, that money's going to be pulled back from paparazzi. So let's just talk about that for a second. If I was a paparazzi consultant still, and I had an extensive downline, and a good portion of my downline was in the state of Washington, and everyone took advantage of the buyback program, and over the next few months, their returns were coming back to paparazzi, and they were returning their full money to them and taking back from me the compensation I was receiving. Here's my main question, I guess, is so if those people who received compensation for their downline, and if they're no longer an active paparazzi consultant, is paparazzi going to go after them and try and get their money back? Is that something they're going to be able to do? That was my question. That's a question I have, and I don't know the answer to that. So that was my question. And I'm glad hello. I've been doing doctor's appointments for the last 2 days, Denise. I get it. As I take a sip of my coffee. Okay. So where was I? Okay, yeah. So prior to the completion of a purchase of a product by a consultant from paparazzi for any purchase that involves seasonal, discontinued, special promotional products, and any other product not subject to the inventory buyback policy and paparazzi's policies and procedures, definition of seasonal or discontinued product, of consent decree of pop-up window must start to disclose, okay, that the purchase involves a product that is not subject to be repurchased, and the consultant must acknowledge the disclosure in order to continue with purchasing the product. So, hi George. So what you're referring to as a clawback, I don't think they can do that. It says that right here, paparazzi, this consent decree shall not prohibit paparazzi from clawing back compensation paid to consultants. So they can, but if the person's no longer an active consultant, I'm wondering. Hey! Sorry, you guys. Shush. Ellie. Stop barking at Mason. Okay. Okay, you send me a message, Denise. I'll read it. So yeah, George, they can try. We'll see how how successful they are. I mean, that's my thing. What is up with you two? Stop it. Okay. So the pop-up window thing. If it's seasonal or a discontinued product, or it's a Z collection piece, you have to acknowledge that it's seasonal before they will let you continue with the purchase. So the buyback program, I did a very quiet video about it this morning. Sorry about that. Dave and Mason were sleeping. So let me go in here. So paparazzi, on their paparazzi Facebook page, they have to make a prominent post on their Facebook page, okay, talking about the buyback program, okay? But yeah, so the Melvin already retired. It's time to make one last season. So it looks like they didn't order a ton of Z collection pieces this year. So it looks like the Paparazzi Z collection pieces are selling out sooner. That's interesting. Let's take a look at that. So 2024 Z collection. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So out of the 20 pieces, we've got 12 left. So, and this one's the next one to sell out. So if you like it, you better get it now. So exciting stuff. Denise, I hope it's that you got a job or something like that. Okay. Okay. Buyback program. Here we go. No later than 60 days after the date of the entry, Paparazzi shall implement a program that allows all Washington consultants and customers to sell buyback eligible products back to Paparazzi. And the buyback program shall run during the entire buyback period and contain the following components. They must purchase the buyback eligible products for 100% of the original purchase price as depicted in the proof of purchase. Okay. And I went over all of that. So they have to return it. As long as the P number is there, blah, blah, blah. Paparazzi will only purchase buyback eligible products as defined above. So if you want to know the link to the decree, have a good day at school. Take a banana or something. Or a mandarin. You need a mandarin. Paparazzi will only purchase buyback eligible products as defined, set forth through 4.5. Paparazzi must pay any reasonable costs of third-party shipping incurred by the Washington consultant or customer as a result of sending eligible products back to Paparazzi. Paparazzi will not pay for return shipping if the product is ineligible and must clearly and conspicuously disclose that any return products determined to be ineligible for a refund will be forfeited by the Washington consultant or Washington customer. So if you, and this is just a thought process here, if you are a Paparazzi consultant and you have a bunch of inventory that you just want to get rid of because you are so sick and tired of it being in your house, send it back to Paparazzi. Yeah, you may have to pay to ship it back to Paparazzi, but the part of this buyback program is they have to destroy it and dispose of it properly. So the burden is lifted from you. They have to deal with it. Okay. So if you're outside of Washington state and you have a bunch of inventory, I would hang on to it and keep all your receipts and start getting it all together. Okay. Start getting all together because who knows, your state may be next. Okay. Paparazzi must pay within 60 days any Washington consultant or customer after receiving the buyback products. So all of that. So they have to, this is my favorite part. No later than 60 days after the date of entry of this consent decree, defendants must notify the public of the buyback program. This notice is subject to Washington's approval and must include clear and conspicuous notice of each of the following. What is going on out there? There's a plane or something flying over. The homepage on Paparazzi's website within 60 days after the date of the entry of this consent decree for the length of the buyback period. So they have to have something listed on their website within 60 days from the 3rd of March, and it has to stay on their website for a year. Okay. On the Paparazzi's public social media accounts, pages on Instagram, Facebook, and X. These may be one-time posts, but they cannot be deleted, hidden, or obscured for the length of the buyback period. And the back office resources page for consultants, it must be prominently listed there. No less than 2 times during the buyback period, defendants shall email or mail the buyback notice to the most recent, Ellie, knock it off, to the most recent email address or billing address paparazzi has on file. The first notification must occur within 30 days of the date of entry of the decree. I haven't received anything yet. When I get it, I will show you guys, okay? But I haven't received anything yet. Don't you dare. No. Yes, Maymay's going to school. No barky. Sorry, the dogs are watching my nephew leave. So, we just have two. Okay. No less than 2 times during the buyback period, defendant shall email or mail notice to all paparazzi consultants, current and former, in the state of Washington. And the second notification has to occur within 30 days before the end of the buyback period is up. And they have to provide written confirmation to Washington State when the notices are sent out. Defendants shall authorize all consultants to disseminate information about the buyback program to customers and place notice regarding the buyback program on consultants' own websites, social media accounts, or other mediums that advertise the sale of paparazzi products. So, if you are a paparazzi consultant and you have sold inventory, if you have sold anything to anyone in the state of Washington, you have to do this too. Okay? So, if you are a person who sold to a current customer in the state of Washington, you have to make notice that paparazzi will buy it back, you know, if they have the proof of sale and it's still in its plastic. Okay? Paparazzi has to create a support email address and telephone number for questions to be answered from Washington consultants and customers regarding this buyback program. They have to have a designated email address and phone number, and they are required to publish this pursuant to this decree. Washington may also publicly display and disseminate notice about the buyback program. Defendants may not resell any buyback eligible products repurchased through the buyback program unless paparazzi confirms to Washington in writing that the repurchased inventory complies with the testing standards of this agreement. All remaining buyback eligible products that the defendants purchased from Washington State residents, consultants and customers, may be retained by paparazzi or may be destroyed or disposed of in accordance with federal and state and local laws and regulations. Retained products not eligible for resale may not be donated, they may not be gifted, they may not be sold or transferred back into commerce to the public for any reason. Again, that is a huge win, okay? And that's because the testing results, y'all, it's those testing results. One-time repurchase program for unsold inventory. No later than 60 days after the date of entry of this consent decree, defendants shall implement a program that allows current and former Washington consultants to sell any remaining unsold inventory purchased between January 1st, 2017 and the effective date that does not qualify as a buyback eligible product. Inventory repurchase program. The existence of the one-time inventory repurchase program does not alter paparazzi's obligation to offer an ongoing inventory repurchase agreement pursuant to this state law. Washington consultants who participate in the one-time inventory repurchase program in this section who remains enrolled or re-enrolls as a consultant may return inventory in the future. The inventory repurchase program shall contain the following components. Paparazzi must purchase the remaining inventory for 100% of the original purchase price paid, including sales tax. Proof of purchase should be a receipt generated by paparazzi, the thing that comes in your box or that's in your back office. A minimum proof of purchase must reflect the sale by paparazzi, include the date of the purchase, the item number, the P number, the description of the item by type, color, price paid, sales tax, if paid, and then consultant name used when they open the account, and your consultant ID, 258411 is mine. Okay, Washington agrees to these minimum proof of purchase requirements based on paparazzi's express representation that at all material times it has provided receipts containing this minimum information. Sales made on a third party where the consultant is not the administrator of the site, such as eBay and Amazon, will not be eligible for the repurchase program. Anyone who purchased for less than the amount paid to Paparazzi, the $2.75, is excluded. Paparazzi will only purchase inventory on Paparazzi's black hanging tag that is in good, resellable condition. Each inventory item needs to be in an individual sealed bag with the P number, and those items with the same P number can be placed in the same bag. Consultant is limited to one inventory repurchase during the inventory buyback program for 1 year. Paparazzi must pay any reasonable costs of third-party shipping. Paparazzi must pay the consultant within 60 days after receiving the inventory from the consultant, and no later than 60 days after the date of this consent decree. Defendants must notify all current and former Washington consultants who purchased inventory after January 1st, 2017, when the notice is subject to Washington's approval and must include clear and conspicuous notice on each of the following: the home page, their social media, and their back office. They repeat that twice, and that's for good reason, because they need to do that. If Paparazzi fails to do that, they could face a $125,000 fine per occurrence if they fail. And if you are a former or active Paparazzi consultant in the state of Washington and you do not get an email from Paparazzi talking about this buyback program, that's a violation. Which is why I'm like, when I get my email, I'll share it with you guys. And if I don't get an email, I'm notifying my Attorney General's office, because they need to do that. Okay. Administration of buyback program, inventory repurchase, blah, blah, blah. This is kind of a repeat of everything else, but this is what I thought was interesting. So let me get to this part. So if the items are eligible, the company will process the return, which will generate a reimbursement issued to the consultant or the customer. Okay. At Paparazzi's sole election, if the Washington consultant or customer is seeking a buyback for 5 or fewer items, they will not be required to send back the products, but rather must: 1, send a picture of the products that will be verified by Paparazzi or a third party, attest to the proper disposal of the product, and 3, properly dispose of the product. If the product still has a black hang tag attached, Washington consultants or customers will have to punch a hole with over the pink crown and silver Paparazzi logo, cut the elastic off the ring, or break it off of the bracelet to indicate that the product is no longer resellable. Paparazzi will clearly and conspicuously disclose that any return products determined to be ineligible for refund will be forfeited by that person. Okay? So, Washington consultants and customers that were accepted, rejected for the reasons such decisions, with updates delivered to Washington no less than every 30 days during this process. So they have to update the state AG about what's going on. Okay? In the state of Washington, may send additional correspondence to consultants and customers. Okay? So it's interesting to me. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not going to lie. I'm very happy that it's happening. Okay. So the income disclosure statement part is one of my favorite parts. So what are you guys thinking? Let's talk for a second. What do you guys think about that? Because apparently they're drag racing out on the street right now. I do too, Cindy. I feel terrible. I feel terrible for those who opened up their jewelry to hang it on the pegboard. But if they can prove, it has to be in its original plastic bag. That's what really irks me, that Paparazzi encouraged that in the beginning. And I'm glad that we kind of talked about that a little bit. But yeah, you open the product. But it also says that if it still has its black hanging tag and you can prove that you bought it, even if it doesn't have the P number on it, if you have other items with similar P number, you can put it in a Ziploc bag and write the P number on it. And if they all have the same P number, you should be able to send it back. That's what was written in that whatchamacallit. uh, you know, yeah, if it has its original tags on it, you can return it as long as you can determine the name of the product and find the P number. If you write the P number on the Ziploc baggie, they should be able to take it back. That was my understanding. And they will be providing an 800 number to give you answers to those questions. So let's take a break from this for a second and let me read an email from one of you guys. So I started wondering how many states have anti-pyramid scheme laws. All 50 states do. Some attorney general laws are very specific and more stringent than others. Many states' pyramid MLM laws state that the initial investment of $100 or more with or without a product is a big red flag. So it makes sense that Paparazzi eliminated $299 and $499 kits. And why now you can join for $20. Okay, I feel bad. That's okay, Cindy. You can go back and watch from the beginning. How are you doing today, by the way? That was the only way to find out if it was broken was to open the plastic bag. What a shame. Yeah, I agree. And when I talked to the people I talked to, I told them that. And I know that the other consultant that the Attorney General's office was working with, I believe she also told them that. Okay. So that's why I think if it's in here, I'm going to go up and highlight this real quick. So, let me find it. Paparazzi will only purchase inventory on a Paparazzi black hang tag in good resellable condition. So this is what I get from this. If it's not in its original plastic bag, okay, each inventory item needs to be in an individual sealed bag with a P number of the item included for each bag, i.e. Ziploc, taped, stapled, or otherwise closed. Items with the same P number can be placed in the same bag. So this tells me that if you opened your inventory to examine it to make sure that it was not broken, you can take it off your pegboard and put it in a Ziploc bag as long as it still has its paparazzi hanging black tag and it's in good resellable condition. It should be eligible for the buyback program. That's what I'm reading from that. Okay. So that's the protection for most consultants. All right. So let's go back to the email from one of you. So I'm no lawyer, but I think at minimum, all former paparazzi consultants need to file a pyramid or violations claim with their state attorney general office. I agree. That's what filing a complaint with the FTC would do. Our government, unfortunately, I worry about it working for us right now, but you can, okay? All consultants who were canceled due to inactivity, mandatory minimum purchase to stay involved, have the opportunity to make commission by recruiting others into the scheme. Yeah. So realized they were making sustainable incomes because they didn't make commission from a team to offset selling at a loss due to narrow product profit margin and no profit margin at all. Still had pieces from their mega kit they could not sell, and not for a lack of trying. That's all of us, right? And consultants who find the same products from other companies for less than wholesale of $2.75 or $5. The sale of overpriced products are also a red flag in most state laws. Thank you for pointing that out, the person that sent me this email. Ooh, you left the company a couple years ago. Oh, I'm so glad you left, Cindy. What state are you in? You don't have to answer that. But are you in Washington State too? So, yeah, the P number has to be enclosed. But Debbie, the nice thing is you can write the P number on the Ziploc baggie. Okay, so you can find the P number through anybody's Paparazzi Premier site, and you can find the P number through Paparazzi Corporate itself. you can just Google search the image and you will find that P number. So the P number is not a hidden number. Okay. Oh, you're in Washington too? How cool. Hello, neighbor. So, okay. All right. So I'm in, I'm in Kent. Everyone knows that. I used to have a P.O. box. So yeah. Okay. So still had pieces from their mega kit, finding the same products from other places. Consultants who were constantly pressured to buy more inventory to pad the upline's pocket, to build teams, or in order to enjoy the benefits that the company offers about making a ton of money from downline purchases. Income disclosure statement says it all. People who make tons of money have downlines. The idea that the more inventory you have, the more you sell, the more customers you will gain is bunko. Yeah. And here's the other funny thing, you guys. There was an email that was sent out by Paparazzi Corporate the other day. So let me put this in a browser. Sales training with Misty. Seriously? We should get together for coffee. Okay, so sales training with Misty Kirby. Hey, paparazzi, ready to boost your sales and take your customers from just looking to take my money? Misty is hosting a basic sales training on Zoom. In this training, she shares simple, effective strategies to help you sell more and take your business from ho-hum to haute demand. Um, 2 sessions are available. Limited spots. Tuesday, March 4th at 1:30, which is happening. It's probably wrapping up right about now. Register here if registration closed so fast. And then Wednesday, March 5th, at 9:30 a.m. And you have to register. You must register to attend, and spots will go fast, so don't wait. After registering, you'll receive a confirmation email on how to join. See you there. Okay, so now Misty Kirby is actually doing sales training, not recruitment training. And if anyone was able to attend that training, I would love to know if that's really what happened. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah. So sick and so wrong. So, okay. So, let me go back to the other email from my person that sent me this. Let me go back into it. Okay. Uh, we can't count on current consultants waking up because they are in too deep, or they are greedy, or they are still drinking the proverbial Kool-Aid to do this work. They will not jeopardize their money and their money train if most of their money comes from commission and not from sales. Yeah, it's a sunk cost fallacy, and there's something else. David knows what it's called, but I'm not going to bug him. But it's where you're in too deep and you don't want to admit what you're involved in, so you deny it to yourself, kind of thing. So, hence the corporate advice to sell their vault pieces, get rid of evidence that all consultants, even elites, have tons of pieces that they just can't sell or do not sell. Watch how often vintage is shown and sold, and how much ancient history those who got out have in their goob sales. All public record on Premier Stores and Facebook Lives. And that's the other thing. If Paparazzi is canceling all these consultants, are they canceling their Paparazzi Premier app? It's possible that they are. If paparazzi consultants are active and prohibited by the policy and procedures from discounting it so they can sell it and recoup some of their investment, if caught, they're canceled. That seems to be a violation or a loophole workaround, like the Amway decision. Price fixing. In any case, it's fishy, and it restricts the consultant's ability to apply business and retail best practice, moving stagnant inventory so they can run a profitable business. Stagnant inventory that sits and comes out of the bottom line is dead money. We call it dead money on my channel. We call it walls of debt and dead money. As I read on the Paparazzi website, they will release customer information, including purchase history, to the government entities upon request. I think that means by subpoena. I believe you are correct, person who sent me this email. If federal state government did a cross-check between the sales on the consultant's replicated website and Premier Store, payments, collection methods, and so on and so forth, why do we think the top sellers do not have their entire inventory up on Premier, and why some elites do not have their inventories available at all? That's a good question. So, here's the other thing with the paparazzi policies and procedures. Paparazzi Section 6.6. They will cooperate with government and law enforcement officials and private parties to enforce and comply with the law. We may disclose your personal information to government or law enforcement officials or private parties and responsible to lawful requests when we believe disclosure or sharing necessarily complying with the legal obligation. Enforce or apply our terms and conditions. Respond to claims in the legal process. Protect our services, members, dealers, and our right for public safety. Safety. So paparazzi will disclose your information if they are compelled to do so. Annie, Annie, hey, no, come here. Annie Banani, Annie. She's not listening. She never does. She's a puppy, and we love her. All right, you guys. So, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, what do you guys think about all of this? Besides, the crazy. I'm wondering if we don't have any fun things to watch. We've watched it all. I wonder if there's a winner's circle. Okay, the winner's circle. Okay, let's see if there's anything new. There is from the end of last. Let's look at how defeated he is in this. So let's take a break for a second and we'll watch these. So here we go. I gotta mute it because they have copyright strikes.
Hello and welcome to Winning Wednesday. I'm excited to be with you today. And as you can see, Summer is not here with me today. She's out for the day and we're excited that she has the day off. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to have the Winner Circle and Winning Wednesday. So today, well, last week I actually can't remember what the challenge was, but hopefully you did it. I'm sure you did. And I can remember Summer issued it. It was fantastic. But this week,
he can't even remember his own challenge. And he couldn't even be bothered to go and watch the last video before he went live to do this one. It's like, wow. Okay.
We're going to challenge you to find new ways of expanding your business. So I was talking with a group of consultants yesterday, and I was letting them know that I went to it's kind of like a forum, I guess, and they were talking about social selling and the impact that social selling is going to have on the U.S. consumer base over the course of the next 10 years. And
yeah, it's going to fall off the map. Okay, social selling has lost. Okay, I'm just going to say this. When you guys see someone selling something on the internet, influencer, bomb party, what is your first indication? Do you guys look to see if it's a multi-level marketing company? I do. And social selling, is it something that you actually want to do? Because I don't. When I see someone selling something, if it's not something that they make for themselves, I usually scroll right on by. Social selling and they all look a little defeated.
In there, they talk specifically about how the rising generation is eat, drinks, and sleeps social selling, whether it's through influencers, whether it's through TikTok, whatever it is, that's how they do their shopping. They're not as interested in going to big box stores like a Target or a Walmart.
I have to disagree with this. Okay, people now are so sick and tired of going to big box stores, but they will support small business. They don't eat, sleep, and drink social selling on the internet. They are more discerning with their dollar. So I don't know where he was with this forum, but people have become a little bit more discerning with their dollar. They want to make sure that their dollar supports their local community. They want to make sure that their dollar is not supporting oligarchs, millionaires, and billionaires. They want to make sure that their dollar is actually going to be beneficial for those in their community. That's why Amazon stock is tanking. That's why Tesla stock is tanking. That's why, Walmart stock is somewhat tanking. People are now shopping small, okay? And since the tariffs are now active in our country, people are not shopping at all. Okay? People have really started to hunker down, batten down the hatches. People are finding ways to, save money. I mean, if you didn't buy a new car before the tariffs, you're going to spend a lot more for it now. But I noticed in my neighborhood alone, a lot of people bought electric cars. Why? Because they're cheaper to maintain. You don't have to buy gas for the car. You don't have to pay for oil changes. The main thing on electric cars is you have to have a way to charge it. And if you have a garage with a plug, you can charge your car. The other thing is all you have to pay for is windshield wiper fluid, tires, brakes, and wipers. Maybe a car wash once in a while. But there's not a whole bunch of other maintenance that you need to do with an electric car. People are now starting to shop local farmers markets and artisans. They're not shopping multi-level marketing. And I can tell you, everybody in my state is celebrating the fact that they will not see a paparazzi booth at their local farmers market. And I'm hoping that every consultant in the state of Washington does the buyback program, because we don't need to see your booth with your re-tagged paparazzi jewelry, okay? We just don't.
Or Kohl's or whatever, they literally will just shop online. At the swipe of a button, they're buying things, and that's the trend that they see happening. So that being said, we've talked about it before, about TikTok and some of these other alternative sites, social sites, that you need to explore. TikTok's here, at least for now. And so this week, what I'm going to encourage all of you and challenge you to do is to get on TikTok. Now, some people have said, well, you have to have 800 followers in order to go live. Well, some others are saying they've done it with as little as 300 followers. I don't know what the rules are, but you need to start building a presence.
How is this beneficial? I don't know what the rules are, but you got to get over there and get on it. Here's the thing. You are the CEO of your company, and you are asking your consultants to do something, and you have no clue what you're asking them to do because you yourself have not done it. That doesn't inspire me to follow you as my leader. As a CEO of a company, if you're asking your employees to do something, you damn well better know what the requirements are, what they should be doing, how they can go about it. If you yourself will not do it, don't expect your consultants to do it. You have to lead by example. Oh, wait, I forgot. That doesn't exist in paparazzi land. They don't know how to lead by example, okay? Stephanie, I am too, honestly.
And having people start liking your TikTok so that you can, when it becomes necessary or if and when it becomes the place to be, you're ready to go. We saw this back in 2016 with Facebook Live. And as a lot of people hadn't built up their Facebook following, their friends and everything else, and so they were doing everything they could in order to build their friend list so that they could reach a bigger market. In today's world, Facebook Live, everybody knows that's what you're doing, that's what you have to do. And even on the TikTok side, they bring everybody back over. That's the system that works. I'm not telling you to throw that system away. What I'm telling you is it is time to blaze new trails. It is time to start learning.
And it should start with him. Just saying. If it's time to start learning, I implore you to follow your own advice, okay? Because, what are you talking about?
Because in the future, whether it's tomorrow or in 10 years, it will all be down to this next rising generation and how they shop. Not how you sell, how they shop. And we need to be ready. We need to understand that.
Here's the thing. The rising generation can't afford to shop, Trent Kirby. They can't even afford to go to school. Okay? They have to live in an apartment with other 20 somethings in order to have a roof over their head. Most of them are working 1 to 2 jobs just to pay their expenses. They cannot afford to shop. And when they do afford to shop, they do what they can to get by. They're buying their basic necessities. They are not buying $5 jewelry. They are not buying stupid kitsch. They're not buying expensive protein shakes or shampoos. They're buying what gets by. And they're buying stuff that is, one, economically responsible. Okay. So they're not buying things that are going to destroy the planet because they actually know what it's like to live on a planet that is being destroyed by their predecessors, you know, the baby boomers. So they think ecologically, they think economically, they think, how is this going to benefit me? They are looking for quality over quantity. All of those things paparazzi is not. So that's just, that's just me. Okay. And I can tell you this much, and I'm going off of what Aradel just said. They're not buying a hair claw for $5 when they can go to the Dollar Tree and buy 6 for $1.25.
That marketplace and know that it's coming. Whether it's TikTok or something else, it will go down those same lines. If you look at the 25 and under crowd, they use things like Snap, TikTok, all these other things. If you look at the 30 and over crowd, it's Facebook, Instagram. You have to start blending your business opportunity. Otherwise, your customers are only getting older and eventually go away.
Just like your consultants, they're eventually getting older and they're starting to go away. So he's desperate, you guys, to get younger, vulnerable, uneducated people into his company because he's bleeding money right now.
Get this next group of potential team members and customers. You need to blaze new trails and join their world. They're not going to join yours. You need to go out and join theirs. So this week's challenge, get on, try TikTok, learn about it, set up an account, start building followers, and explore. So Summer always has a quote at the end.
I have a quote too.
And this one is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. You guys are the trailblazers. You are the ones that are setting the future of what business will look like. So go out there, blaze a trail, and the rest will follow.
Okay. So, yeah, blaze a trail. Yeah. They all are. They all are financially predatory, in my opinion. You need to do more stuff. That's exactly what all their trainings are. You need to do more. We need you to find more recruits. We need you to bring more people into the fold. We just lost a whole state and we now have to pay on a judgment. It's really sad. And then, of course, we have all of this stuff that people aren't buying. So when we go into just the main shop and we look at all the stuff, I mean, who doesn't want a necklace in neon yellow with a star and a rhinestone? The more you know. I'm serious. When I saw this one come out in blue, that's what I thought. But the included earring is a little star. So cute. So fun. But yeah, you look at the stuff that they're bringing out. Gosh, it's just fabulous. We all just want it. It's just wonderful. And Fashion Fix went live on the 4th. So last night, Fashion Fix went live, and we still have Fiercely Fifth Avenue, Glimpses of Malibu, Magnificent Musings, and Sunset Sightings. So which one sold out? So we got this one, that one, Looks like the Simply Santa Fe one didn't sell or sold out. So the one with the butterflies. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's so great. It's so cute and so fun. And we have, I mean, she's calling this Scandy Charm. And I will say this, Frenchie Taylor, if you're watching this when you wake up this morning, that's not Scandy and it's not Charmy. Yeah, a Swedish fish charm is not Scandy charms. Because everyone wants to wear a Swedish fish around their neck. You know, I look at everything that everyone's going through right now, with their healthcare being up in the air because they just cut the budget for healthcare and then tariffs are hitting us. You know, I why do you think you guys I'm starting a garden on my deck this year? I'm going to start gardening so I can at least have some food. And if I'm successful and grow one thing that I can eat, I'll be proud of myself. So I'm just thinking out loud. Everyone's worried about that right now. So you can get better, cheaper stuff on Temu if you really want to. Yes, and Temu is now subject to tariffs, you guys. So you got to keep that in mind too. So no matter where you go, tariffs are active. Okay? It's just the weight of the world right now. But the other thing is I'm really proud of uh, the countries who are fighting against the tariffs. Like, mad props to the guy in Nova Scotia who was taking all the Jack Daniels off the shelf and putting it in boxes. Yeah, don't sell it. Send it back. Don't sell it. If America put themselves in this hot mess, America's going to have to suffer the consequences. And yeah, I did not vote for this. I did not want this man and all of his cronies in power. I did not vote for democracy and, the world to be at our mercy. I did not vote for that. But if my country has to hurt right now to wake up and see that they have continually voted against their own interests, and if they have to find out the hard way, by all means, they're going to find out the hard way. So, okay, guys, I am going to go, one, to the bathroom, and two, I am going to do a load of laundry and then cook meatloaf for dinner tonight. So, you guys have a good rest of your day. Continue to be real and not perfect. And thanks so much for tuning in with me today. Share if you can. And I will take care of you guys on the next video. But in the meantime, let's continue to be real, not perfect. Continue to show compassion to those who were victims of multi-level marketing. You know, they're finding out the hard way, just like America is. But take care of yourself first. Take care of your loved ones. Denise, I'll talk to you in a little bit. Okay? Take care, you guys. Have a good day.